And we are now officially live. Hey guys, it's Crater2001. I'm back for a new episode of Crater2001 Talks Live on my YouTube channel, Crater2001. Before I start the talk show, as always, you can like today's live talk show, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Google Plus, follow me on Instagram, and also you want to join the Makers Gen Network. All in the description below. Comment down below for any questions during this live talk show, and me and my special guest will be glad to answer them. Now let's get started with today's guest. It's none other than my good friend RangerCollector62492. I've known him for a while, so now I'm just gonna bring it up to him. There you go, Cody.
Hi guys, I'm RangerCollector62492, aka Cody, for those of you that know me personally. So, yeah, that's basically my introduction.
Oh yeah, let's talk about your YouTube channel, man. I'm about to bring it up.
Oh, yeah, okay, so, I mean, the channel's been on for a couple of years now, and I've almost reached, I think it's been 1,000, like 500 or something. I don't know. I've lost track of it. It's like 15, more than 1,500, and well, there, it's right there. He's got it on there for you guys. So yeah, it's growing steadily, I guess. And really, what I do is just review Power Rangers and very rarely Sentai stuff because I don't collect that. But I also do occasionally do interviews or just random videos. It's just a fun channel, you know. People seem to enjoy it. So otherwise I would be out of business.
Yeah, and guys, make sure to subscribe to him after today's video. He's really good. He's been on here for around more than 2 years. So like even though he's not that big of a YouTube channel, he's been here for a while, so he knows what he's doing. Make sure to check it out. And also check out one of his latest videos where he talk about, if you Power Rangers fan, talk about the last episode of Super Mega Force, which we'll actually talk about later in this talk show. He just talked about how, like, you know, his opinion on it. It's really interesting. I saw it before this talk show started, and it's really good. So hopefully you check that out. As always, make sure to subscribe to him. It's actually on his Google Hangout right now. So his link, youtube.com/RangerCollector62492. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Now, Cody, first question I want to ask you, just pretty much, like, how did you get started on YouTube? What made you even want to do YouTube?
Okay, so first off, believe it or not, this is not my first channel here. Back when I first started experimenting with YouTube, I had wanted to do it about the 90s, and it seemed like I was dragging on the Power Ranger thing on that channel a lot more than I should have, so I decided to just expand and do it as a Power Ranger channel. And at first, I really didn't think it was going to go anywhere because my collection was small. I only had like a Dragon Zord and a couple of DVDs. But I later actually started meeting a lot of friends in the fandom. One of my friends is in the UK, helped me with a lot of my collection. And, well, it started growing after I was buying stuff for myself and after I met other fans and other people actually enjoyed my reviews. And I think it started picking up about 2013 when one of my popular reviews was on the Legacy Morpher. So I was one of the few people that originally reviewed the Morpher before it like got everywhere. And I remember Jason David Frank actually shared one of my videos of behind the scenes thing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it started getting, a lot of people were starting to subscribe, and you know, I like to post stuff like that isn't seen and is elusive to the fandom. So, and then I also like to keep up with current events too. So, like you said, the Super Mega Force episode's kind of the talk right now.
Yeah.
And oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we can talk about that later. Later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Or you guys can watch my video.
Either way, yeah, it is pretty interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much how you got started on YouTube. Wait, I remember a long time ago. What was it? Oh yeah, another thing. You're part of your good friends. Another thing about Cody, which you probably don't know, he actually works very closely with people from the Power Rangers show. Would you like to name him, Cody?
Okay, so first off, I'm a freelancer. I freelance my own work. I taught myself to do graphic design, and I taught myself to do video editing. And as you see some of that in my intro, I actually put like an explosion or something like that with one of my blasters or something like that. I actually like to experiment, and I was like noticed by a couple of people at one point. I did some random designs and I posted them, and I through that I met a couple of the actors. I met Audrey Dubois, who's now like one of my closest friends. She played in the pilot episode. She was playing Trini, the unaired pilot, and then of course we later got Twee Trang. And then the other one I work for Robert as like an assistant to his page. Just recently started a page for him, and because he's having problems with his other one apparently, but help with his other page. And then of course I also work for the Filippo triplets who played Trey of Trifornia and Zio. So. Mm.
That's pretty good. See, now that's one thing I can't even believe this is happening. I'm actually talking to someone who actually works very closely with the PR actor, which I actually always wanted to meet one day. So that is my childhood. So talking to someone who actually works closely with them is very interesting indeed. So I was gonna say thank you for that, buddy.
See, after you talk to them and you get to know them, you just realize they're people. I mean, Audrey and I mean, occasionally I'll bring up the Power Ranger thing, and I occasionally just sit there and ask her questions because I like to like know things, and she'd tell me stories. But on a regular basis, she'd call me and I'd talk to her, and she'd just ask me how I've been doing and what I've been up to, and I talked to her for about 30 minutes because she's busy too. So, but she calls to check up on me every once in a while. She called me yesterday because she wanted me to do some work
cool.
for her.
See, I didn't even know that. That's actually cool. See, this is what I'm talking about. One of the few people, even though it's a smaller YouTuber, he can actually work with someone who's actually well known in the community. So that's saying something right there. That's just amazing, dude. I wish I could kind of be like you, have that power to like interact with some of the actors from actual TV shows, and you're actually doing it. So that's amazing.
The thing is last year I went to Ranger Stop. I'm a shameless plug. My friend Mike Valdez and the gang for Ranger Stop. Their convention is this November, so you guys go to Orlando, Florida. Brought to you by shameless plugging. Anyway, when I went to Ranger Stop, I was having a lot of experiences that I don't think a lot of people could have at conventions. I went with Ken Lom. I don't know if anybody knows. You should know him. People should know him. He's like a really well-known Power Ranger fan in the fandom too. I picked me up and we went to the convention. And I actually got to carry Najee Detej's helmet, and it was in a bowling bag. And
you did?
Yes, I got to carry his helmet at the convention.
Cool.
Ken was working at the convention. I think he was. I don't even remember what he did. All I know is that he was actually he was working there the day after I was on the second day. The first day, I was basically just running around all over the place, and I got to meet a lot of people. I met Nakia Burris, and I met Jason Font, Jason Narvi. You guys see him in the intro at the beginning of my video. He does a shout out to my channel, and then of course one of the more interesting videos is when I recorded Najee Detej when I asked him a question. And he crawls over the table at Ranger Stop and comes up to me, starts jumping around, saying, "Ask your question." and then he takes my iPhone and starts running around with it, like recording all the
Oh
conventions.
yeah,
So,
I did remember that too.
um,
You
and
used
what,
that for your intro for the
yeah,
most part. I remember that.
yeah, and you know what the interesting thing was is when I
Mhm.
was standing in line to ask the question. Um, I as soon as that little girl, oh my god, that video, that little girl who like proposed to
Oh yeah.
Steven Skyler, I couldn't top that. I really couldn't. I was like, it was really a sweet moment. So when I got to the line, and Alex Hartman, Steven Skyler, and Najee Tej were sitting down, they looked at me, and Steven Skyler calls me by name, like he knows me. Like that was really cool because I on occasion will talk to him on Facebook, so he does know me.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, mm, there's some weird experiences I've had in this fandom that I really probably shouldn't even deserve, but uh,
Yeah, but you have it, man. You have it.
yeah,
That is so
it's.
cool, though. Oh, yeah, you went to Power. Wait, you went to Ranger Stop, not Power Morphicon, or you did go to Power Morphicon?
I wish I could go to Power Morphicon.
I
This
thought you
recent
did.
one. No, I financially I was having problems with when I moved to Florida. This is actually a reason why I went to Ranger Stop was because Orlando was like 5-10 minutes away from me at the time. Because of my little trip to Florida, I was having some issues with my family down there.
Uh,
But the financial thing it blew a hole in my plans for Power Morphicon. So all my money went back to giving my mom the money and
damn.
her going to pick me up. So it
Oh,
was it was devastating, especially when they sat there and said Rhett Fisher was going to be at the convention. I wanted to jump off a
damn.
bridge. But the thing is my friend felt so bad that he could not get the key pack for me, the one with the Titanium Ranger in it.
Mhm.
He surprised me on day two of Rhett Fisher, or no, was it day one? When Rhett Fisher was there, he recorded Rhett Fisher doing a shout out to me because I remember Rhett Fisher talking about. For those of you that don't know this, Rhett Fisher is the Titanium Ranger, and he's like my favorite Ranger. You guys can see that in this picture right here.
Yeah, as you can clearly see.
So anyway, the thing is they were releasing an exclusive key at the convention, and it was out of my reach. And my friend said he would help me get it because it was like $10 at the time. And well, he waited in line, and I think that they separated the sales by 2 days. So they had the sales, like they had stacks for one day and the stack for the other day, and they ran out on the first day, and he couldn't get it. So he felt so bad, he went to Rhett Fisher's table, and he asked him if he can get a shout out for me. And that's what happened. So
Wait, is that one of the videos that you have on your channel?
yeah, it's on there. It's actually I actually recently uploaded a video. It's called a titanium powered video or something like that, and I kind of like show my obsession with the Titanium Ranger and him being my favorite Ranger. As a matter of fact, Rhett Fisher kind of told me that I'm the most persistent fan as like a Titanium Ranger fan. He thinks I'm like the most obsessed fan for the Titanium Ranger. And he told
Really?
me this straight up. I was like, wow, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you see, yeah, just like as Cody said, you can watch all those videos, especially when at Ranger Stop, as well as Rhett Fisher's videos, all on his YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/RangerCollector62492. You can watch all his videos related to Power Rangers, especially all the stuff that happened this year. So make sure you go check that out right after this broadcast. And now, Cody, one thing I really want to ask you is, like, since you've been on here for 2 years, you grew a fan base. What do you plan on doing for the future with your channel?
I honestly, what I'd like to do is, I'd like to expand my channel a little bit more than what it is because I'm like on the poor man's budget when it comes to collecting. I don't expect anything, and I'm like to get anything in the mail like I usually do now. Like just recently, someone sent me that figure, but when I do get something and I'm able to review it, then I will. But when I am like kind of on a halt on the getting. toys and stuff like that for my channel, the channel stopped too. So for the past month now, I really haven't done any kind of reviewing, and that's because I haven't gotten anything. So I'd like to like somehow obtain like revenue so I can pay for my collection and allow my channel to expand a little bit more. See, you got people like Bruno, and he's a talented guy. I can't praise him enough. Bruno and Mia, they're really good at what they do, and he's got like the most amazing Megazord collection I have ever seen.
I know,
and they're
it's so
all
amazing.
Japanese.
All
Japanese.
Exactly. I always wanted
Japanese Megazord, and Go on. You can go ahead.
No, I'm saying like one thing I always wanted.
You go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, one thing I always wanted when I was a kid. You know, my mom. When I was a kid, like I was a huge Power Ranger fan when I was a kid. Still am actually. It's just when I was a kid, I always wanted a Megazord. I never actually had a DX Meg, like a deluxe Megazord. So I bought the little action figure ones when I was a kid. Now I remember it was Time Force, and I was so upset. It was either Time Force or Lightspeed Rescue, one of the two. I always wanted the two main Zords I always wanted was a Lightspeed Rescue Megazord and a Super Train Megazord. Because to me, in my opinion, Lightspeed Rescue had like the best Megazords hands down, the way it's designed and everything.
See, that's why that's my favorite season.
Exactly.
That's why that's my favorite season. Not just because the Titanium Ranger. Everybody thinks it's because the Titanium Ranger why Lightspeed Rescue is my favorite season. It like really like jumped or pushed the envelope when it came to Megazords. Like you saw the Super Train Megazord and the way it combined. Yeah, it had like the smoke come out every time it connected.
Exactly.
Yes, it was so realistic. I was like so like into that, and
it was so amazing. Yeah,
it made me feel like that.
Yeah, and I always wanted that when I was a kid, and it was just like, oh, my mom never got it. She always bought the 4-inch or like the 5-inch little figures. And I remember it was Ninja Storm, and she finally bought us like an actual technically DX Megazord. I forgot what it was called, like the Hurricane Megazord, and it was like the one where you like spin the thing, you click on it in the back, and all this crap shot out.
I know which one you're talking about. That's not okay. Yeah, that's like a common toy for Ninja Storm, and they claim that it could be a deluxe Megazord, but really,
it's not.
If it doesn't have any separate Zord pieces, It's not a deluxe figure.
And that was like the closest thing. Yeah. That's the closest thing we had to a deluxe Megazord. So like that's pretty much. I never actually bought a deluxe Megazord ever, which I hope to one day.
I have a Jungle Fury, Jungle Pride Megazord that was sent to me over there.
Oh, cool. Cool, man. Oh wait, you trying to get it?
So, no, well, I can.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I need to put batteries in it still. I don't have any batteries, but yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Oh,
so that's how. Is that the American one or Japanese one?
It's the American one. I think the Japanese one has something else with the orange translucent. But yeah, this thing has a motor on it, and the batteries aren't in it right now. So.
Oh, so it spins.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Huh.
So yeah, there's that, and the rest of my collection's over there. You just can't really see it because. Yeah, I'm watching X-Men, by the way. But yeah, the rest of my collection's over there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn my light on.
Okay,
sorry,
no problem. Just while Cody do that, just remember, guys, make sure to subscribe to him right after this. RangerCollector62492. Great channel.
That's like my little station right there of stuff right now.
There's your legacy collection.
Yeah, it's like the most noticeable thing, like that people point out is that helmet set, and I understand that it's like really expensive. I've been called stupid on numerous occasions for paying for that.
No, I was gonna pay for it. Huh? No, go ahead.
The thing was, is I was I was interviewed for the set for my collection, and I'm actually in the DVD set. So uh,
That's why you
I
want to
didn't
see
want
it.
to wait like 3 or 4 months to see the bonus feature, and I didn't own any of the mega sets. So what I did is I purchased it. I purchased the Legacy collection. So
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing it. Just the problem is, I still have the Mighty Morphin set, the complete series one. So I'm like debating if I should just sell that and just buy the Legacy collection.
put
I still do want to buy it. It's just like I'm debating. Should I just buy the rest of the mega sets or
sell the mega set, put it towards getting the helmet set. The
sure?
thing is that what's good about the helmet set is that you get Mega Force, Samurai, and
And
Super
Samurai.
Samurai, which
Yeah, because
yeah,
currently Megaforce doesn't have a complete season yet. Samurai, they finally released like a year ago the Samurai season thanks to Amazon. But that's the only way they did it was because thanks to Amazon. And Super Samurai they already had it.
yeah, and you have an exclusive bonus disc on there too.
Oh yeah, that's
Uh,
only exclusive to the Legacy collection. And most of it's like a
there's some stuff on.
yeah, it's like this thing called Ranger Tales, and it like has some of the season that like they didn't have on a mega set, so that's the only way you can actually watch them. Like some of the
There's
interviews.
an interview. There's an interview with Ron Wasserman on there talking about him how he had to rush the music for Power Rangers,
Oh yeah.
and he brings up something I did not know about, and I could have easily asked him this. He apparently at the time, I guess it was in the 80s, Saban is the one that made Inspector Gadget, the old
He
80s
did.
cartoon.
He did?
Okay, listen to this. Okay, so this is how the theme song for Power Rangers was born. Superman was given like a week to write a theme song for the show because they were picked up for a full season. They were kind of rushed to get things done because they didn't think this thing was going to go anywhere. So
Uh,
Ron Wasserman, I guess he was told that use the word "go" a lot. It was very successful in Inspector Gadget. And what he came up with, Inspector Gadget's theme song was the inspiration for the Mighty Morphin theme.
oh crap. Actually now I think about it. Inspector Gadget, go Gadget go. Oh
Go,
okay, yeah, I see it.
yeah, the word
Yeah.
go. You hear "go" all over that song. The Go Go Power Rangers
Uh,
thing is an inspiration. So yeah, it was something a lot of people don't recognize because that sets what says that. And I figured I'd put that out there. It's an interesting fact.
uh,
So,
I never actually knew that. I
yeah.
never knew that. Huh. Oh yeah, Cody,
Yeah.
one more question I would like to ask you before I get to like the off-topic discussions. One thing actually, yeah, I do want to ask you. Do you plan on any time in the future like connecting with other Power Ranger YouTube channels and like start like this whole collaboration, or is that one of your plans, or you feel
See,
like, or like you feel like doing it like
well,
solo?
there's the okay, yeah. I'm more, but if you're talking about working with other YouTubers, I think the most famous YouTubers, especially in the Power Ranger ones, are the ones that work solo.
Exactly.
You know, Shuki and Dawson, and then you got MMPR Toys.
Yeah.
They're all solo reviewers, and they've been on here longer than I have, at least for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And you know what they do best is working and buying and collecting themselves. So um, that's obviously what they do, and they get their own revenue as a solo reviewer. One of the things that I learned, and this I don't know if you know these people. Uh, I have friends outside of the Power Ranger community who are also toy reviewers, really big ones like Sean Long and
Yeah.
Shartimus Prime.
Yeah. I always watch. Yeah. It's just best of Charlotte's
And
Fun. Yeah, I can watch his videos.
Okay. Yeah, me and Shartimus, we connected like on one of his live chats, and I sent him something I wanted him to review, and he reviewed it. So it was one of my cool things is to experience something with another YouTube reviewer that's actually outside of Power Rangers, and kind of one of the people that inspired me to start my own channel. because I used to watch Sean's videos in 2010 on the re-released Mighty Morphin toys, and that's actually what got me into YouTube reviewing. So, um,
Cool.
as far as working with other people, I'd consider it, but I think I feel more comfortable working by myself.
I understand completely. I understand because the only way you can start, the only way you can continue growing yourself bigger is you have to start somewhere. You're starting small. I mean, you're not really a small YouTuber. You do have 1,000 subs more than like most people have currently.
I still consider myself a small
Oh yeah, me
YouTuber
too.
because
I know.
I do have a bunch of I have some fans. Surprisingly, I've got through Facebook. I have people that will message me asking me about certain things, and I have people that comment on my videos. Very rarely someone will comment on my videos, but it's still up there. I get likes, I get dislikes. That's normal. I mean, so.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, thing is, sometimes it doesn't really matter if you get like a comment on a video or like if you just see like it's a view, it's like if the views are there, that's just say that people are watching, they just don't care to comment because that's just sometimes how it is for the most part.
Yeah, I don't. It's not that. It's when someone comments, it's actually pretty. It's pretty exciting to see what people can say about something that
your
you do.
videos.
I know. I had somebody do like a video on his own YouTube channel, saying that I helped him, or when he's upset or something, or he's just he's not having a good day, he watches my videos. Or people like say certain things like that. I'm just like, wow, a big difference just because I collect toys. It's it's one of those things that just blows your mind. It's really it's one of those things you just don't expect. So.
But I understand completely, man. I understand completely. Well, yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for like the main portion of our show. Now we if you haven't saw the first episode of Crater2001 Talks, you could watch after this broadcast. It's pretty much just two different sections of the show. One is the main portion where I ask my guests a couple questions, the main questions, and we just talk about other topics right after the main portion of the question. So like get to know each other, get to know you guys, and if you want to ask this is the part where you want to leave a comment down below so I can answer your question. Or my friend here, RangerCollector62492, you can go ahead and leave a comment down below. So pretty much now we're on an off-topic discussion. Let's talk about the Super Megaforce season as a whole. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of stuff to say about that, right, Cody?
Well, as I mentioned in one of my my recent video, actually, when I reviewed the final episode, I was actually going into Super Megaforce I was trying to be really tolerable of it. I actually enjoyed some aspects of it because a lot of the fans who complain about Super Megaforce are Sentai viewers. Of course, Gokaiger is considered the best Sentai season out there. And this is
to me, it really isn't. I think
it's based off of.
Yeah. I don't think it's like the best Super Sentai season. To me, my favorite Super Sentai season is always going to be Go Busters, which will never get adapted over here thanks to Saban picking down.
Get your torches and pitchforks, Sentai fans.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating. But yeah, continue what you were saying.
Yeah. But other than I know a lot of people sit there and say there's certain seasons like Operation Overdrive. Okay. Operation Overdrive, Samurai, Super Samurai. They're talking about those being like the worst seasons, and I always would compare like story-wise. I like the way Samurai.
Yeah, exactly.
Being blow monster. And Super Samurai becoming a little bit more serious.
Exactly.
Megaforce, on the other hand, was doing the same. Say what now?
No, yeah, because one thing I like to point out, no matter how much you hate Samurai, Samurai, at least you can say it's, in my opinion, at least they did something that was better than what they did with Megaforce. At least Samurai, well, because the main reason why, because they was following the Japanese story, so it's pretty much, it was easier for them to do that. But at least they actually had a story going along with every episode. At least for Samurai and Super Samurai.
When I heard from one of my friends that is like really deep into Sentai, he said that the Japanese prefer our version of
No, yeah, they do.
The samurai. Apparently, in Japan, Shinkanger is considered the worst,
No,
one
no,
of
it's
the
not.
worst
No,
seasons. Kind of like the way
no.
Operation Overdrive.
It's no, it's not considered the worst. No, it's actually one of the popular seasons over there, Shikanger. I don't know. It's not that it's
Well, I
considered.
was told differently. This is why I
No.
don't. This is why I don't listen.
Yeah, it's considered one of the best.
Somebody told. I don't remember that.
Shikanger wasn't
Someone told
bad.
me
Yeah,
that more
Shikanger wasn't bad at
preferred the
all.
American version.
No, it's not that people prefer the American version.
Yeah,
They
I
just
know.
want, yeah, no, they just want another take on like what Shikanger did, and that's our version of it. Shikanger was very good. I watch like
Right.
it's one of the few Super Sentai shows I watch like rewatch it all the time because Shikanger is very good, even though Samurai just pretty much copied word from it. It's the original Japanese version is pretty freaking awesome. I compare that to with Time Ranger, which is probably, in my opinion, besides Go Buster, has like the best story hands down. Which, in case you didn't know, Time Force it copied Time Ranger story almost to the letter, word from word. Time Ranger. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Super Megaforce wise, I will say this, and I said this in my video. I'm going to say that at least this is my second least favorite season, next to Operation Overdrive. I honestly hate to put a judging opinion on something that I enjoyed for the first half of the season because it was enjoyable for the first half of the season. I actually was looking forward to what they were doing, but because, and I gotta thank my friend in the UK for letting me do that. He let me watch the last episode in the UK. They aired it and it ended last week or a week or two ago, and I just honestly was really disappointed in the direction they took this, especially since it took 2 years for them to
Exactly.
build up for it. It was horrible. It was very slow yet underwhelming. You know, so that's all I really can say about Super Megaforce. It's a bland version of Gokaiger, I guess, is what my friend called it.
Well, you see here, I can tell you. Okay, here's what
But
happened with Super Mega Force. Oh no, wait, my bad. Go ahead, continue.
can we at least try to say that maybe we can have hope for Dino Charge?
Oh yeah, see, yeah, I was about to talk about Downchart real quick, but before I do, I just want to get this out of the way with Super Mega Force. See, the problem with Super Mega Force is not because of what the Sentais here that they was adapting, because they proved time and time again you can adapt any Super Sentai show and put it into Power Rangers. Perfect example would be Turbo.
In space.
And in space, Lost Galaxy. You can change RPM. Those perfect examples, which is Go Under is completely different from RPM. They made it work. That wasn't the problem. The problem is what they was doing with it. And they was following what they did with Samurai. There was two different things that they did with Samurai. You know, Samurai, Super Samurai. And now it's Megaforce, Super Megaforce. There's one big difference that they did. Samurai, Super Samurai used footage and the storyline from the same exact show. All they did was just split up between 2 years. It was still Shikanger. Next year was still Shikanger.
That was Nickelodeon's fault. That was Nickelodeon's fault.
Exactly. No, but even still, yeah, I will. No, but one thing I won't fault Nickelodeon on, even if you only had 20 episodes a year to do it, one thing I would say is that you could make it work. Because Megaforce, they proved that they could make it work. They just did it poorly. But they had to do with Megaforce, sadly, and this for the first time that they ever do it. They had to adapt 2 different Super Sentai shows into one season. Because technically, Megaforce and Super Megaforce is the same exact season. They had split between 2 years. Technically. But this is the first time they actually had that 2 Sentai shows and put into one Power Ranger show, which that was the main problem. So instead of having 50 or so episodes for one season, they had almost more than 100 episodes they had to deal with for footage, which they couldn't really tell a compelling story.
I honestly just think Nickelodeon didn't think Power Rangers could compete with the Ninja Turtles. That's what I keep telling myself.
Probably.
Because that's another popular show.
It is. It is. No, it is true. And that's what shot them in the foot. That they didn't believe in it. Even though Samurai proved to be like it was actually good, Punish could still do it. And it's just like
I still see a lot of the fans complain about Samurai and Super Samurai.
I wouldn't say Samurai was bad. No, in my opinion, Samurai was not that bad. I know what they were doing. It's just that the way they did it was just kind of weird because you can't. Samurai, no, see, Power Rangers Samurai is one of those examples that you can't adapt the original story to a letter. Okay, it'll just screw everything up. Because Shikanger was based on Japanese tradition, samurais. That doesn't work over here in America. Okay, now Jaden,
Right.
this is Jaden Shiba, he was from Japan, and his dad was a legendary warrior from Japan. He was a Red Ranger, and he lived in the Japan.
What was
Japan.
he?
And it's like, what the hell?
No, I'm thinking of
It's like, what the hell?
That's fine.
Huh? Wait, no, go ahead.
For some reason, I was thinking about.
What?
I was thinking about SPD. I keep on forgetting that this is what really sucks about being a Power Ranger fan. You have to know everything apparently, but it kind of this one thing with Samurai collapsed with what happened in Time Force, or not Time Force, in SPD. So you had Jaden's father, who was the Red Samurai Ranger, and I'm talking about Sky's father possibly being Wes from Time Force.
Yeah, even though, yeah.
So I almost like mixed the two together and kind of screwed that up, but you know, that's another discussion.
Well, yeah, you know, actually, I can tell you that right now in case you don't know, or you probably do know. Pretty much what Disney was doing when SPD was airing, they tried for the most part to reuse everything that they had previously that Saban had. So that's why he just used West Time Force Red outfit just for Sky's father. There's no relation between Sky's father and whatever.
But
it's
you
like
know the fan fictions and the.
I know, yeah. When I was a kid, I thought that too. When I was like, oh, that's West right there.
Something you're gonna point out. Obviously, if you're a longtime Power Ranger fan, I'm sure even a kid would point out Time Force.
That's what I thought, and yeah, that's exactly the reason why they did SPD. They used the space suits for the A Squad for SPD. They was all they were doing is reusing suits.
Boom, as when his little dream sequence about being the Orange Ranger, just like
SPD was like the most weirdest season because when he was a kid, he was like, oh crap, all this stuff is happening.
But it's the most popular season apparently.
Yeah,
for some reason,
very good.
In Space is possibly the most popular, but SPD is the most fan recognized. You don't go anywhere and not see someone recognized.
Because there's so much stuff that they did with it, yeah.
Exactly, and you know that was a new approach. It was a new director and a new producer when SPD aired outside of what Dino Thunder was. The guy had a certain vision for SPD. He wanted it to be like. He wanted it to be something like along the lines of like a James Bond or something like that.
Exactly.
Not like a spy thriller, but I don't remember. I have to rewatch the bonus features. I know he didn't. He was interviewed for the bonus features, and he described. No, he wanted to be like Star Trek. That's what he said. He wanted to be Star Trek.
That's pretty much what kind of like Lost Galaxy. If you remember Lost Galaxy, that's kind of the route they was kind of going for the most part.
Yeah,
kind of.
But
it was only one episode I remembered for Lost Galaxy. It was like full-fledged Star Trek crap. It had no Sentai footage.
Are you talking about that episode where it was actually involving the Lost Galaxy with that damn Captain Mutiny guy?
Yes, that was the only time they actually had no Sentai. I forgot what the episode was called. It was like the start of that arc. And it was the only episode that had no Sentai footage whatsoever. It had nothing to do with no suits except for the very end.
That Saban was
exactly.
Very few occasions.
That's why I like the previous Saban, I guess this is what you call the Neo Saban era. The old era, post-Zoran era, I love that era because he went all out on everything. He didn't always just was bound to the Sentai footage.
Exactly, but once Wild Force hit, I'm not gonna lie to you, Disney. I used to hate what Disney did to Power Rangers. There are some good seasons. I'm not going to lie. Dino Thunder, SPD, RPM, they did some really good seasons. It's just some of them that I really don't like are like Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, and God, there's another one somewhere. No, I think those are the two I just can't stand. I've never finished those seasons. It's just unappealing.
Well, yeah, people have different tastes and whatever. Cause kind of like Wild Force. I don't get the hate for Wild Force. Cause to me that's like one of my favorite seasons of all time. Cause no,
Bruno
what people don't
said it
understand.
best. Bruno said it best. He said something along the lines of Wild Force being the
Controversial.
most controversial season. I don't know exactly why. Bruno did work on set, so I think he says that's his favorite season.
Yeah,
And you got
I love
I,
that season.
he said I think he's more attached to the effects of it. I like the idea of all the animals, like the wolf, the deer.
Exactly.
It's a good idea, yes. And I'm not going. I like the tragic backstory of Cole and Master Org. That was an interesting story arc. Um,
Yeah, it was.
I think the only reason why Wild Force is so like slapped around in the fandom is because some of the fans probably don't even give the show a chance.
They
Here I
don't.
am being hypocritical. I've had people tell me that I haven't given Operation Overdrive a chance. I've watched the first 4 or 5 episodes and said I can't stand it. But Wild Force, it gets better down the road, and it actually starts becoming a story.
It is.
And
No,
it's kind of like the way RPM kind of was set up.
exactly. RPM. Yeah, that was good. RPM. It was good. See, but the problem with WoW Force, okay, like, okay, here's like the whole, huh? Wait, did you say something?
So it's one of the most popular seasons.
Yeah, wait, RPM.
Yeah.
Yeah, RPM. Yeah. See, but the problem with WoW Force, what people don't understand is that when Time Force was airing, because Time Force was like the last season that Saban fully produced, and then when Wild Force came, the whole Disney situation, technically, because what people don't realize, they consider a Disney season is actually a Saban season, Wild Force, but they don't really know. Because
Half of it is, yes.
yeah,
Half of it was made by
yeah,
Saban.
that's what they don't understand. Because the last episode that Saban made was ironically Forever Red. After that episode, every other episode after that was Disney's. But that's what people don't really understand. It's technically a Saban season. Disney really didn't do much with that. That's probably the reason why actually those last few episodes for Wild Force, they really didn't care, like, at all what to do with it, because they was trying to focus more on Ninja Storm.
Yep.
After that point, they was trying to focus on Ninja Storm. They really didn't care about Wild Force.
Yeah. That's another one that's underrated is Ninja Storm.
Oh,
I'll admit that's
yes, Ninja Storm. That's much.
I'd say that's like a slow season for me. It's not fast paced like Lightspeed Rescue or
Time Force.
like RPM. Like I feel like Time Force is fast paced too. It seems like a lot of the earlier seasons, even Saban's, you could sit there and binge watch a lot of their seasons and sit there and finish it within a week.
Because it's so good. I'm Netflix.
Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah, I'm saying on Netflix, Lost Galaxy, which is actually I should just actually before I even go on with this, Cody, what's your top 5 Power Ranger seasons?
Top 5. Okay, I gotta think about this one. Okay, number 5, I would probably put Dino Thunder at number 5. I actually enjoy Dino Thunder for specific reasons. It brings back the Mighty Morphin style, and it was interesting. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. Number 4, I'd say SPD. I mean, I liked it. And don't get me wrong, it's an interesting series. This is my top 5 guys, not my top 5 least favorite. Number 3, I'd say would be the second season of Mighty Morphin. I think the stories picked up a lot better there, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The stories were much more interesting in season 2. Number 2, I'd say RPM. And that's that. And then my number 1, of course, is Lightspeed Rescue. I think I was more prone to that season because of my childhood. I was attached to Lightspeed Rescue more than Mighty Morphin or Zeo or Turbo. I was very young when the show first started, so I could barely remember Mighty Morphin. I only remember as far back as having the VHS tapes. But in 2000, was it 2000? Yeah. Lightspeed Rescue was the season that I watched most, and that's why I like Lightspeed Rescue.
Got it. Cool. So those are your top five. Now, before I go to my top five, I'm actually looking at the YouTube page right now. We actually have some comments right now from. Actually, I didn't even know there was gonna be comments on this video. The writer next said, "I hated Go Busters." Yeah. Well, Go Busters is a little debatable. That's my favorite season. I don't know about Gio. And he said, I really do loathe Super Mega Force." Yeah, because like I understand why. It's just like it was a season that's so much hype, but you can only do 20 episodes with it, so it was just like,
I'm tossed between it. I really am. I mean, I'm torn between whether or not I should like the first half of Super Mega Force because that's where they started actually doing cameos and introducing new Zords and
Exactly.
stuff like that from past seasons. And I'm also torn by hating it because the fact that the whole thing is just rushed beyond belief.
It was. You can't fit 20 episodes with 20 years of Power Rangers. You can't do it. Here's what I always said that they should have did. The first episode, and just go in order. Episode 1, tribute to Mighty Morphin. Episode 2, tribute to Alien. Episode 3, and so on and so on and so on. Because Megaforce was already the part of the story. That's why I always said. I was like,
but you know what
like
the problem was? He said Megaforce he wanted to skip what was Go Sager.
I know he originally did. I know, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
But now apparently he can skip Go Busters. But see, that's why I was like, yeah, you want to skip the season, which is my favorite season. Of course you want to skip that one. When it finally comes to Go Busters, yeah, you want to skip that one, go straight down charge. But okay, but we had to sit through Ghost Stage, which you could see with Super Megaforce, there was no intention on them using Ghost Sager anyway. Because for the most part, they never changed into him. I'm talking about the Legendary Ranger mode. They never changed it.
This is what I was confused by, and this is Saban's laziness here. The first episode, or the second episode.
It's third episode. I know what you're talking about.
This is what really threw me off was when he gives them the new morphers, and it's a freaking cell phone nonetheless. But when they call, or Gosei calls them, you see the Rangers grab the Gosei morpher.
It's just so retarded. It's like, it's a freaking cell phone. Don't even use it anymore. No, here's the thing that just blew my mind. I always remember this. Episode 3. You know, on the Blue Ranger episode, it was about Noah.
It's an exact copy. I remember watching that episode.
No, that's not even the problem. It's just a problem because I knew since it was going there, I was like, watch them do it. Noah, when he was about to fight that monster, he used his Super Mega mode. He used his Legendary Morph to go straight into Super Mega mode. So there's zero reason for them to keep the Mega Force powers. Zero reason. Because he goes straight into Super Mega mode. Another thing, he has
the only reason
that another reason that they have the Mega Force keys too. So it's like, why are you keeping the Mega Force power? There's no reason. And that's my point.
That's true.
I could tell that Saban. Yeah, I just could tell that Saban. They really had no intention of using Mega Force because Super Mega Force clearly shows that they did not They really did not want to use it. It was just going to use Gokaiger, and that was it. And that's why I say they should have just did episode 1. Mighty Morphin 2, so on and so on. And then it's like the last episode is about the war. Boom, season's over.
The biggest problem.
It could just
you know what the biggest problem with things are? The biggest problem with them is the Blitz powers, or at least that's what they call them. I'm only going by what people call them.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, you saw Die Ranger more than anything,
I already knew beforehand they was gonna have no choice but to use Die Ranger just because of the footage and because of White Mighty Morphin Ranger. I already knew they was gonna use that, so that was a given. This
was my theory with that because a lot of the fans were sitting there going like, "Why is there no explanation?" I honestly sat there and wanted to write down my ideas on why they may have these powers in some way or some form. So back when, fast forward to 1995, when Zordon made the White Ranger, of course, the White Ranger is a power, or a power of goodness or something like that. And that was the suit from Die Ranger. Fast forward to Megaforce. You hear Gosei say his mentor is Zordon. He used to say that maybe because after Zordon was kidnapped by Divatox and stuff like that, he didn't give Gosei these keys that he had in his possession, and just so happens Zordon may have these random powers in some way,
Good. Good.
in form. So Die Ranger being one of them, they were just unused. The White Ranger, on the other hand, was.
Well, you know what's another explanation is, right?
What's that?
Laziness.
Laziness too, but I also like to think the positive sides and say I'm writing my own shit.
I
And
know.
then sit
Oh
there.
yeah, it's true. But it's just some of the stuff just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, like I said, I already knew that they was gonna use the Power Ranger power even before the show even premiered. Because like it was just given. There was no way they was gonna film new footage just for the White Ranger. There was just no way they were gonna do that. But wait,
Right.
yeah, before we go any further, there's another comment I missed. It's from Chris Says. It says, "What about Operation Overdrive? Hate it or love it?" Cody, to give your opinion, he said he's mixed about Operation Overdrive. To me, Operation Overdrive is not that bad of a season. It's just for some reason it's having this effect. If you notice, Cody, every anniversary season is not always the best season. Wild Force,
I've seen that too,
yeah,
but
because
15th anniversary.
Yeah, Operation Overdrive. Now this one. Wild Force. To me, Wild Force was fucking awesome, but for some people, it's just for some reason it's the anniversary season that people don't like. Pretty much, I don't understand why.
I mean, okay. The reason why Operation Overdrive is probably the most disappointing season to me is because there are so many predecessors before it. Like you saw so many good seasons before it,
I
and
know.
I don't think I could sit there and say either one of them are worse than Operation Overdrive because they're more enjoyable than Operation Overdrive.
Hell, even
Um,
for some people might say Turbo. Who knows?
that too, I don't understand that. I mean, I technically I do understand. I think it was the kid. The kid is
Yeah.
what ruined it for them. Is everybody says it's because of Blake Foster. I don't think that it's his fault. I think it's the writers. And to be
Well, it's
honest
not
with
even
you, they
that.
wanted to do.
No, it's not even that. It's just the fact of the matter is, and just proves my point again. You can't adapt something that's drastically different expected to be the same. Because you know, Car Ranger was like just comical. It was like all funny stuff. They try to make Turbo
See,
serious, and that just couldn't happen.
this,
That was
this
the
is the thing.
problem.
I remember someone telling me that Car Ranger or Car Ranger was much more entertaining in Japan.
Yeah,
Or,
Old Ranger. Yeah. It was I find so ironic. Old Ranger, which you know is Zeo.
it
It
almost got
almost
Sentai
killed Super Sentai series, and Car Rangers what saved it. Now the reverse, pretty much what happened over here in Power Rangers. Zeo
See,
wasn't
that's
that
something that
bad.
needs to be,
Yeah.
people need to realize and mention that stuff more often, is because you know even in Japan they've made
Exactly.
mistakes. It's not just us. It's
I know.
there. I mean, somebody said Tokuger could be the worst
Some of it's not bad.
Sentai
It's not
season.
bad at all. It's just I
I
get what
mean,
they're
it's
doing.
based on
I get
on
yeah, trains.
though.
Well, okay, no, trains are popular in
Yeah,
Japan. That's the thing that people don't understand. Trains is like the shit.
right. Yeah, that's understandable.
It's just how it's gonna
It's
work
really,
over here
it's
in America is just questionable. I don't know how it's gonna actually work in
yeah.
America. And no, because they shot themselves in the foot.
See,
Because they might have to adapt it since they skipped Go Busters. They almost
I
shot
think
themselves in the
somebody
foot.
said that there is a possibility that he's going to skip Tokuger, but I don't think he
Because
can
he can't, because he skipped Go Busters. So now,
exactly, and he's already technically caught up.
exactly, that's my point. So it's like, you shot yourself in the foot now. You're going to have to adapt Tokuger. Go Busters would have been way more easier.
They're gonna have to crop out that Tokyo boner.
I know. I don't know what they're I don't know what they're gonna do.
Crop that out.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. But yeah, I guess I should give you my top five. Okay, starting from five, it has to be Power Rangers Ninja Storm, because to me, Ninja Storm, since that was the first season that Disney actually did, and I actually liked that season because of what Disney did, so for me it was pretty awesome. So number five would be Ninja Storm. Number four would have to be Wild Force, mainly because besides the story and the characters, mainly because the team ups, Forever Red, I know I can never forget that. And the team up with Time Force. The top Number 3 would have to be Time Force, even though that's my favorite. My favorite Ranger of all time, the Quantum Ranger, and just because the story is fucking awesome. Even though it's the exact same thing as Time Ranger, to me it's fucking awesome. Number 2, it has to be Lightspeed Rescue, solely mainly because of the Megazords. Just my opinion, hands down. In Power Rangers history, Lightspeed Rescue always have the best Megazords of all time. And then number 1, my favorite season of all time, it has to be Lost Galaxy. Cause just something about that season is just always. When I was a kid, cause that was actually the first image. My first viewing of Power Rangers is actually Lost Galaxy. I forgot what episode it was. It was just I changed. I guess my mom changed the channel real quick. And it was already in the Megazord battle, and all I see is just the Galaxy Megazord just fighting this monster. I was like, what the hell is this? And I see the Rangers are in the cockpit. I was like, yo, this is freaking awesome.
I know why it's your favorite. It's nostalgia. You got your nostalgia goggles on.
Exactly.
It's what you were first introduced to. This is why because Mighty Morphin was the first thing I was introduced to.
Yeah, I didn't even know what the hell Mighty Morphin was when I was a kid. I didn't know about Mighty Morphin until after the end of Wild Force. I was like, who the hell is this first Ranger? At that point, my Power Rangers history was Lost Galaxy and then onwards. I did not know about any other season prior to that.
But a lot of people are confused about why Lightspeed Rescue is my favorite. It's not because it was my first introduction. It was because it was a more I more or less enjoyed it because of the concept. It was it was a rescue ops team underwater in a base. It was basically I honestly think it was my ultimate fantasy for Power Rangers, to be honest with you. And I remember when the Titanium Ranger first showed up as a kid, I was excited about that. So he was just as much as a nostalgic character as Tommy is to the Mighty Morphin fans. That's one of the reasons why Titanium Rangers is my favorite Ranger, is because he had an interesting story. He was, I thought his story was more emotional than Tommy's, you know. Tommy just was zapped by an evil spell, and there you go. Ryan, on the other hand, was emotionally drugged down by Diabolico and told that his father abandoned him, and he chose evil to destroy his father and his work. But once he found out the truth, he became good. So there's that classic story, good versus evil. So, and I love the Cobra tattoo story. That I keep on telling myself, this is something that I came up with because I was having so many problems trying to get the key pack, so many problems trying to get that figure. I kept on telling myself that just to remind myself of how much I love the Titanium Ranger, I want to get that tattoo put on my back.
Go forget that was a pretty cool design. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm not even kidding. I'm thinking about actually trying to do that, and it's something that remind me that, hey, you know who your favorite Ranger is, right?
Exactly. So. Oh yeah, I hate to cut you off, Cody, but I think we pretty much reached our time limit for today. So again, I just want to thank you, RangerCollector62492, for being part of my talk show for today. Really appreciate it. And any final words?
No problem.
Like any final words before we go?
Don't do drugs.
I was thinking you might say like something like made a power protect you or something, but okay, we go with that.
I don't like to be generic.
True. But okay, guys, thank you for watching another episode of Crater2001 Talks. Thank you for my guest, RangerCollector62492. Remember, go on his YouTube channel right afterwards. It's going to be in my featured channel list, so you can't miss it right after this. So you always be able to see him anytime. Make sure to subscribe. Great channel. If you like today's video, hit the like button. Comment down below, actually the one after this live stream, so you can just comment down below afterwards. And just subscribe miss any other of my videos. You can also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Google+, follow me on Instagram. And become a member of the Maker Gen Network. All in the description below. See you next time for my next guest, which I don't know who it is yet. For Crater2001 Talks, which is next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is pretty much how it's always going to be. But until then, thank you all for watching. This is Crater2001. This is also RangerCollector62492 signing off, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.